Here reality bends to your assumption, and money is no longer your master. It is your reflection. The secret to wealth has never been out there. It has always been within your own self-concept. The world bows to the man who knows who he is. So I ask you, who are you being right now? If you say, I want to be rich, you are speaking from lack. You are announcing that you are not yet that man. But if you say, I am rich, and you feel it is true, then the law begins to move. The unseen forces start aligning. You see, it is not about wishing, it is about assuming. Assumption is the key to creation. You do not become rich by fighting poverty. You become rich by assuming the state of wealth. Even while appearances scream the opposite. Speak to yourself as the millionaire would. Walk as he would walk. Think from his mountain, not from the valley of how. Live in the end. Feel the weight of the pen as you sign that 7-figure deal. Smell the leather in your dream car. Taste the victory. And do not hope for it. Know it. Because when you live in the end, you collapse time. Money does not come to the one who waits. It comes to the one who remembers. The one who wakes up every morning and looks at his empty bank account and still feels like a king. This world is not real in the way you think. It's a shadow, a mirror. It reflects your dominant state. So change your inner conversation. Stop telling stories of struggle. Stop identifying with lack. And instead, repeat this silently. I am already wealthy. I am already chosen. I am already free. Let the world take its time. You don't need its permission. For when you align your imagination with faith, when you believe without proof, when you persist in the assumption of wealth, life has no choice but to yield. Because the formula has never been effort. The formula has never been luck. The formula is you. So wake up today, not as a beggar, not as a dreamer, but as the one who knows he is already the millionaire. To manifest wealth, you must understand that it is not something you chase, it is something you become. This is the cornerstone of all transformation. The great truth that many overlook is this: reality responds not to your actions alone, but to your state of being. Wealth does not flow to the one who works the hardest, but to the one who embodies the truth that he is already wealthy. You must assume the identity of the wealthy man now in this very moment, regardless of your current circumstances. Look around you. What you see is only the residue of your previous states of consciousness. The lack, the limitations, the struggle, they are not permanent. They are echoes, temporary reflections of an old self-concept that no longer serves you. If you wish to change the mirror, you must first change the man looking into it. Do not wait until the money comes to feel secure. Do not delay your confidence until the bank account matches your desire. This is living backwards. In truth, the only reason money hasn't yet arrived is because you have not accepted the identity of the one to whom money naturally flows. You are still playing the role of the becoming instead of the being. And life, being nothing more than a mirror, continues to reflect back to you you're waiting, you're hoping, you're trying. But imagine for a moment that it was already yours. Imagine that the version of you who lives in luxury, who speaks with ease, who gives without counting. Imagine that he is not separate from you. He is you. Not in the future, not when things change, but now. Close your eyes and see him. How does he walk? How does he carry himself? There's no rush in his step, no desperation in his voice. He knows. He trusts. He radiates a calm certainty that money bends to his will, not because he begs for it, but because he knows who he is. And who he is wealthy. This identity is not something earned. It is claimed, chosen, embodied. And when you begin to think from that identity, not of it, not about it, but from it, you step into the creative seat of your life. The outer world, being only an obedient servant of your inner state, begins to mold itself to match the self you have assumed. Do not ask how it will come. That is not your concern. The man who already has it doesn't wonder. He simply moves through life with the assumption that what he needs is already on the way. He trusts that his inner knowing is enough. And it is. When you walk into a room, walk as the one who owns the room, not with arrogance, but with a quiet power. When you speak, let your words come from the belief that you're supported, resourced, and guided. Let your actions spring from the confidence that everything you need is already within. You are not pretending. You are remembering. Remembering who you truly are before the world taught you to doubt it. Before you believed in the false gospel of lack and limitation. You are not becoming rich. You are awakening to the richness that has always been yours by divine right. Assume the identity. Not in theory, not someday, but now. Feel it. Wear it, sleep in it, speak from it, and persist in it, even when nothing seems to change, especially when nothing seems to change. Because in those silent, still moments, the foundation of your new life is being laid. That is the secret, the hidden code, the Millionaire Manifestation Formula. Begins the moment you no longer see wealth as something outside of you, but as something that you already are. And once you claim it, the world will rise up to prove you right. To live in the end is to accept the desire not as a hope or a possibility, but as a fact. It is to move beyond the realm of wishing and into the realm of knowing. There is a profound difference between thinking of your desire and thinking from it. Thinking of it keeps it distant. It creates a gap between you and the thing you long for. But to think from it is to dwell in the state of its fulfillment, to embody the feeling that it is already yours. Your desire exists only in its fulfilled form. That is where it lives. That is where it breathes. To manifest it into your visible world, you must go there first in consciousness. You must visit that version of yourself who is already living the life you are reaching for, and you must stay there, not as a visitor, but as a resident. When you live in the end, you refuse to be swayed by appearances. You no longer consult the outer world for evidence. You stop checking the bank account, the calendar, the phone, because you know that what is real is not what you can currently touch, but what you have accepted in imagination. You see, the imagination is the womb of reality. All things are born there first. The outer world is simply the after effect. It is the mirror, the echo, the reflection of the inner man. And the inner man becomes the outer man when you persist in your assumption. Ask yourself, if it were already done, how would I feel? That is the secret question. That is the sacred doorway into the end. If you had the job, the relationship, the wealth, the health, how would your breath change? How would your posture shift? What conversations would you no longer entertain? What anxiety would dissolve into calm? To live in the end is to answer those questions not with theory, but with practice. It is to adjust your inner state as if the wish had already been fulfilled. When you speak, speak as one who has arrived. When you move, move as one who has no doubt. When you imagine, do not see yourself getting what you want, see from the place of already having it. This may feel unnatural at first. The senses will protest. They will remind you of what is missing. But the senses are not the authority. Your inner conviction is. The moment you choose to believe in the unseen over the seen, you step into your power. You step into alignment with the true creative force within you. The world will tell you to be realistic. But reality is not fixed. It is fluid, and it responds to the dominant assumption. Every great shift begins in someone who dared to ignore the facts and live from the end. Hold a scene in your mind, the one that would naturally unfold after your desire has been fulfilled. Maybe it's a phone call, a thank you note, a peaceful sigh, a look in the mirror. Whatever it is, feel it as real, rehearse it in your mind. Let the tones of reality soak into your being. Let the feeling become familiar, and then live from that place. Let your decisions reflect the end. Let your self-talk reflect the end. Let your energy reflect the end. Do not wait for proof. The proof will come after the assumption, not before. Faith is the evidence of things not seen, silence, the outer noise. The world around you is not the cause, it is the effect. Every fact, every circumstance, every so-called obstacle is merely the shadow cast by your inner state. If you try to change the shadow without changing the light within, you labor in vain. True transformation begins in silence, in stillness, in the quiet command of your own consciousness. The world screams for your attention. It tells you what is possible, what is practical, what is likely. But it knows nothing of the truth you carry within. The moment you allow the noise to dictate your inner dialogue, you surrender your creative power. You become a servant to appearances instead of the master of reality. Ignore the facts, deny the evidence. Not in rebellion, but in understanding. You're not being reckless. You're being faithful. Faith is not blind. It is visionary. It sees beyond the temporary, beyond the current, beyond what is. It sees what must be because it has been decreed in the unseen. You're not called to react. You are called to command. What are you assuming? What are you entertaining when no one is watching? These silent inner conversations are shaping everything. They are either building your future or repeating your past. You must take authority over them, not with force, but with intention. When fear arises, do not argue with it. Replace it. When doubt whispers, do not debate it. Drown it out with the voice of assurance. This is how you silence the noise. Not by wrestling with it, but by turning inward and choosing a different vibration. Your imagination is your sanctuary. Go there often. Dwell there deeply. The world cannot reach you in the stillness of your inner vision, and it is from this sacred space that the new world is born. Suppose they say it's impossible. Suppose the numbers don't add up. Suppose the door seems closed. And yet you have seen it open. You have felt it unfold. You have already experienced it in the realm where all things are created. That knowing is your authority. That feeling is your truth. Let others be ruled by facts. You will be ruled by faith. Let others look outward. You will look within. While they wait for signs, you will be the sign. While they hope for change, you will embody it. And in time, the facts will change. They must. Because the outer world has no choice but to mirror the inner world. If you command peace within, chaos will subside around you. If you dwell in abundance within, supply will find its way to you. If you rest in love within, your relationships will transform. Not because you fought for it, but because you refused to be moved by noise. And that is the key. Stillness. Steady, deliberate stillness. Not passivity, but power. Not inaction, but inner action. You rise in authority. The moment you stop seeking validation from the outer world and start governing your inner one. So, silence the noise. When the world says you can't, hear within you, it is done. When it says, look at the facts, say quietly, I look at the truth. And when it screams for your attention, smile and return to your vision. Because in the end, the world will catch up to what you knew all along. And it will do so not because you fought it, but because you ignored it. Until it had no choice but to obey your silence. Emotion is the magnet. It is not the doing, the striving, the constant reaching that brings wealth into your life. It is the feeling, the state of being, the inner atmosphere you carry, moment by moment. Wealth is not earned by effort alone. It is summoned, drawn in, attracted by the emotional climate you maintain. What you feel, you invite. What you persist in feeling, you become. And what you become internally must reflect itself outwardly. This is a law, not a moral one, but a creative one. Your emotional state is the signal you send to the universe, and it never fails to respond. You can work tirelessly, check all the boxes, chase every opportunity, but if you are carrying fear, doubt, anxiety, or lack within you, you will only multiply those states in your outer world. Not because you are being punished, but because life reflects. That's all it knows how to do. To manifest wealth, you must go beyond the surface, beyond appearances. You must sink into the rich, fertile ground of emotion. Begin not with strategy, but with the question, how would I feel if I were already wealthy? Would you wake up with peace in your chest? Would you walk slower, speak with more confidence, breathe more deeply? Would you laugh more easily, give more freely, expect the best in every moment? That is the feeling you must begin to cultivate now, not when the money arrives, but because you understand it already has, right? Joy is magnetic. Gratitude is magnetic. Certainty is magnetic. These are not just nice ideas, they are tools, instruments of creation. When you live in the vibration of these feelings, you align with the frequency of wealth itself. You tune your inner being to the station where prosperity broadcasts. And the beautiful truth is, you do not need a single change in your external world to feel this way. You can close your eyes, enter the sacred temple of your imagination, and become rich in feeling. You can walk through the corridors of a life you love before the world sees it. And the more real it feels, the faster it appears. You do not need to pretend. You need to assume. There is a vast difference. Pretending implies separation. You act as if. It's true. Assuming makes it so. You know it is already yours. And that knowing creates emotion, and that emotion becomes form. So begin now. Feel the weight of abundance in your hands. Smile as if the news you long for has just arrived. Breathe as if every bill is paid, every need is met, every dream is unfolding in perfect time. Let the emotion rise naturally. Let it take over your being. Make it your practice. Not once but daily, not when convenient, but consistently. Sit with the feeling of financial freedom. Linger in the joy of having more than enough. Let it become familiar, so familiar that it becomes your new normal. Because when that happens, when the joy is no longer tied to the outer result but flows from within, you become unstoppable. You are no longer chasing wealth, you are radiating it. You are no longer asking for it, you are living in it. The world may not respond instantly, that is fine. Do not measure your progress by how fast things appear. Measure it by how deeply you feel. Stay in the state. The state is the cause. The emotion is the invitation. And wealth will answer, not because you worked harder than everyone else, but because you felt it first. You believed first. You rejoiced first. You embodied the vibration of abundance before it had a name or a number. And now it must come. Emotion is the magnet. Feel rich, and you will be. What are you whispering to yourself all day? Not what you say aloud, not what you tell others, but the quiet voice, the hidden stream of thought that flows beneath every action and decision. That voice creates worlds. It is not neutral. It is not idle. It is the architect of your reality. You may think your outer conditions are shaped by effort, by action, by chance. But long before you ever move your hand, you have moved your mind. And the movement of your mind, your inner conversation, is the true creator. It is this internal dialogue that sets the tone for your life. If your whispers are laced with lack, I can't afford that, money doesn't come easily to me, I'm not where I should be, then you are rehearsing poverty. You are not merely expressing a belief. You are reinforcing it, energizing it, giving it breath and form. And what you repeat, you make real. But this law works both ways. Just as a constant inner dialogue of lack produces more of the same, a persistent conversation of abundance must yield wealth, not as a reward, but as a reflection. Not as something earned, but something mirrored. You must become aware of your inner language. You must watch it as you would a garden, pulling weeds the moment they appear. When you catch yourself speaking limitation, do not condemn yourself, correct yourself. Interrupt the old script. Replace it with truth. Speak abundance. Speak prosperity. Speak as if money loves you, as if success follows you, as if the universe is conspiring to bless you at every turn, not out of arrogance, but out of alignment. Not to convince the world, but to convince yourself. Because the world listens to you through your state. It does not respond to begging. It does not respond to desperation. It responds to the certainty of your inner being. And certainty is built through repetition. Through the gentle, unbroken rhythm of a prosperous internal conversation. Talk to yourself the way a wealthy person would. What would they say when bills arrive, when opportunities arrive, when facing a challenge? They would say, I always find a way. Resources flow to me easily. Every situation turns in my favor. That voice must become yours. Let your self-talk be rich in tone, not just in words. Feel the truth of what you say. Don't just recite affirmations. Inhabit them. Let your inner dialogue be laced with conviction, with ease, with joy, and persist. Not for a moment, not just when you feel good, but especially when you don't. Every word you repeat to yourself takes root. Every assumption you accept becomes a law in your world. And with persistence, even the most deeply embedded belief can be rewritten. This is not fantasy. It is mastery. The mind is not your enemy. It is your tool. Use it, train it, guide it gently into new terrain. Say to yourself, I am wealthy now. Money is my friend. Opportunities appear effortlessly. Let it become second nature. Let it become your default tone. And when the inner voice wants to return to the old, stop. The conversation within you is not private. The universe hears it, and it obeys it. So whisper well. Speak the truth of who you want to be, and persist until the whisper becomes your world. The world around you is nothing but a shadow, an echo of your inner vision. It bends, molds, and reshapes itself according to the images you hold faithfully in your imagination. There is no greater power than the one you wield in silence, behind closed eyes, where the scene is born. You are not at the mercy of the world. The world is at the mercy of your mind. It is clay, soft, pliable, formless, until you give it shape in imagination. Every object, every circumstance, every relationship began as an idea in someone's mind. And so it is with you. Nothing will appear in your life unless it is first permitted, accepted, and nurtured within you. The soul rests in faithful imagination, not in scattered wishes, not in restless hoping, but in clear, unwavering, confident seeing. See what you desire with vivid detail. Enter that scene as if it were already unfolding. Touch the walls of your new home in your mind. Hear the voice of someone congratulating you. Smell the leather of your new car. Taste the joy of freedom. You are not pretending. You are selecting. And once you have selected, rest in it. Do not dig up the seed with doubt. Do not question how or when or through whom it will come. The mechanism is not your concern. Imagination takes care of the details. Your only duty is to remain faithful to the end you have chosen. Faithful imagination is not occasional fantasy. It is devotion. It is the quiet conviction that what you see within is more real than what you see without. It is the ability to stay rooted in your vision while the world still looks unchanged. Because the moment you alter your inner state, you alter the world that must come. There is no effort in this rest. There is no strain in this work. True imagination is restful, not restless. You are not forcing outcomes. You are allowing them. You are becoming a channel through which your chosen vision flows into form. And the clearer you see it within, the quicker it hardens into fact. Do not wait for evidence to believe. Create the evidence through belief. The world is slow to respond to the one who doubts, but quick to obey the one who sees clearly. What you imagine with feeling and sustain with trust must appear. That is the law. You do not need the permission of the world to create your reality. You only need to grant yourself the authority to imagine boldly. Stop seeking signs outside yourself. The sign is your own vision. If you have seen it in the mind, it already exists. It is done. Rest there. Return often. Whenever the noise of the world attempts to sway you, go back within. Close your eyes. Re-enter your chosen scene. Let it become so natural that you begin to forget what the old reality looked like. Lose interest in the facts that deny your vision, and invest all your emotion in the world you are building inside. This is not denial, it is creation. You are not escaping life, you are commanding it. And the one who commands reality is the one who has learnt to live from the unseen rather than the seen. So let imagination be your sanctuary. Let it be the womb of your future. Guard it, protect it, revisit it until your entire being is saturated with the feeling that what you desire is already yours. And then watch. Not with anxiety, but with quiet knowing. The world will shape itself around your inner image. The scene you repeated in silence will rise up in front of your eyes. Not because you struggled, but because you believed. The world is play in the hands of your imagination. Shape it wisely and rest, not in worry, but in the certainty that what you have imagined in truth must become your life. Everything begins and ends in the mind. The formula is not out there. It has always been within you. You do not become a millionaire by chasing money, but by embodying the wealth within. You assume the identity, live in the end, silence the noise, ignite the right emotions, persist in inner truth, and rest faithfully in your imagined reality. This is not magic, it is law. The world does not respond to effort alone, it yields to consciousness. You are the cause. The inner man, unseen by the world, shapes every circumstance, every dollar, every door that opens. You do not wait for wealth to feel rich. You feel rich. And wealth obeys. Let no outer fact discourage you. Let no voice of doubt linger longer than a breath. Hold the vision. Trust the unseen. Speak the language of abundance and make it your native tongue. This is your invitation to stop striving and start selecting, to stop begging and begin believing. Life will match the tone of your inner world. Set it high, set it boldly. Set it now. Thank you for receiving these words, not with your ears, but with your spirit. May you walk from this moment not as one seeking, but as one who knows. The formula is within, and your wealth has already begun.